This is an urgent message. Please cut your water consumption by half or standpipes will be introduced. For all our sakes, save water now.
2 minutes, Andy. Crikey! Well, here goes! Ah! Come on, we'll have to be quick. They're raising the drawbridge. I'm at the top now. Keep going. Going? Geronimo! I found it! Stop the clock!
I bet she drinks Carling Black Label. Ah, I bet they do. Your best bet for a fuller flavour.
Carling Black Label.
Here's how to make the complete car commercial. First, find a rugged landscape. This lets you show a bit of nippy handling. A rugged driver is a must, of course, as is one of those famous old rock tracks. Good grief. Then, after some more dramatic driving, what a surprise, a sudden landslide. That'll demonstrate the brakes nicely, show the car's practical side, and provide the perfect opportunity for a grand finale. It's easy, you see. You just need the right car.
Mr. and Mrs. Potter wanted to see the world.
There's more to life than your own backyard.
We had to agree. We said yes to a loan, we said yes to a credit card, and we said yes to traveller's checks. Currently, we help people with over 3 million credit cards and millions of pounds of traveller's checks, currency, loans and insurance.
Now I feel we've seen the world.
If you want to be a man of the world, the answer's TSB.
It ain't half a bar.
Friday the 5th. Mum escaped for the day, so Dad was held prisoner.
With Debbie.
While I got the Fingers crispy pancakes, Dad put on the peas. Oh, great. New chicken and mushroom. Wicked. And minced beef. I really got stuck in. So did Dad.
But Finder's crispy pancakes, every day's got a different taste.
It took Dad hours to rock her to sleep.
And now in your Western Morning News, it's Football Week. From Monday, enter our great competition with hundreds of football prizes to be won. Plus, read Tommy Tylen's own fascinating story every day.
Yes, read my story, only in the Western Morning News.
These are the eyes of a man whose skill depends on his sight. Normally, he makes it a rule never to take any risks. But today, he forgot. Make sure you don't.
I have to tell you now that no such undertaking has been received, and that consequently this country is at war with Germany.
ITN for the national news.
The news from ITN.
European hunt for IRA gang after 2 soldiers are shot at roadside. Prince Charles proposes a scheme for national voluntary service. South African churchmen say the government's declared war on its people. And favourites Middlesex tumble over and out of the NatWest Trophy final. Good evening. Police throughout West Germany are on full alert tonight, hunting for an IRA gang who shot and seriously wounded 2 off-duty British soldiers. They were fired on at point-blank range as they returned to their barracks in Munster after an evening out.
A quiet suburb of a North German city and 2 young off-duty soldiers returning home to base after a night out. Then the IRA struck. The soldiers were walking along this pavement while eating a takeaway sausage and chips. A car believed to be a dark Audi gently pulled up and a man asked for directions to Dortmund. The short conversation came to an abrupt and bloody end with the rapid chatter of fire from a machine pistol. The shots were at point-blank range, aimed at below the men's waistlines. The most seriously wounded soldier was rushed to a civilian hospital where surgeons started an emergency operation. While at Munster's British Military Hospital, his friend also underwent surgery. Eyewitnesses say there was pandemonium after the shots rang out. 2 people tried to give first aid to the soldiers. Off-duty servicemen rushed from a restaurant, and one of the staff inside said, "After the soldiers were rushed away, we heard the sounds of young men crying." This evening, yet another major West German police hunt for IRA terrorists is underway. Detectives say there were 3 men in the car, but there appear to be no clues as to where they drove to. This is the latest in a series of attacks. Only 4 days ago, an Army staff sergeant found a bomb under his car at Hanover, 150 miles away from here. It appears that the recent hope of thwarting the IRA death threat to British servicemen on the continent is quickly diminishing. Andrew Simmons, ITN, Munster in West Germany.
A loyalist gunman who murdered a Catholic in Belfast today was shot dead by undercover soldiers who rammed his getaway motorbike with their unmarked car. A second man who was injured in the shootout is tonight being questioned at the Castlereagh Interrogation Centre.
It was all over in minutes. 2 loyalist gunmen on a motorbike rode into the Catholic Ardoyne area and shot Paddy McKenna dead. They fired 18 bullets and would have escaped, but fell foul of an Army undercover operation. Security sources say the involvement of the Army was coincidental. 2 plainclothes soldiers happened to be passing through the area in their unmarked car when they heard the shots and saw McKenna's body. They immediately gave chase to the motorbike. At high speed, the soldiers pursued the bike down the Crumlin Road and, according to eyewitnesses, rammed it from behind, the pillion passenger landing on the bonnet. A witness said there was then a shootout.
When I came out, there's a fellow lying in the middle of the road beside a motorbike, and he was still moving. And there's a guy on the footpath beside the crashed car, and I think he was dead.
One terrorist, Brian Robinson, was killed, the other injured and now in police custody. The outlawed Ulster Volunteer Force claimed they executed McKenna because he was an IRA member. This is refuted by his family, Sinn Féin and local people, who say this was a sectarian murder of an innocent Catholic. Tonight, as the RUC continues its investigation, there's speculation that the SAS was involved in the final shootout. Simon Cole, ITN, in Belfast.
The Prince of Wales is launching a new national scheme to recruit thousands of young people for community service. The initiative has the backing of the government, the Labour Party and the trade unions.
For several years, Prince Charles has been interested in a form of national voluntary service combining sport, adventure and community work. He's discussed the idea with politicians and teachers, as well as with young people themselves. Now, one of his collaborators on the project has told the Sunday Times Prince Charles wants to push ahead with the idea as soon as possible.
We would obviously hope that a large number of young people who go on YTS could have a break from that, 12 weeks or so is what we imagine, so as to do the kind of activities which we will be offering through this scheme. But so will those in employment, and crucially, this will be to develop the whole person.
4 years ago, the Prince launched a pilot project called Community Venture, on which the new national scheme will be based. Community Venture is for people aged between 18 and 25, though the national scheme would start at 16. They're paid £41 a week from the Prince's Trust, and the course lasts 10 months. The new scheme would be for 3 months. At the end of it, a job club helps them find work, and the pilot's been remarkably successful at this. The Prince has long been a royal favourite with young people. Now he aims to do something positive to help tens of thousands of them.
Church leaders in South Africa said tonight that the government had declared open war on its people. They made the statement after police used tear gas and water cannon to break up an anti-apartheid demonstration in Cape Town. Kevin Dunn's report has been compiled under South Africa's reporting restrictions.
Police were determined to stop the banned march before it began. Yellow police armour sealing off the centre of Cape Town, and officers in plain clothes told all cameramen to leave the area.
If we find you back in this area or anywhere in this area, we will arrest you.
The police also raided offices of a foreign television agency. Leading churchman Alan Bursak said blacks wanted to show their rejection of next week's segregated election.
It is about white people retaining their power in parliament and economically and politically in this country, and we protest that.
Hundreds of protesters, black and white, eventually gathered to confront lines of police. Argument turned to anger when instead of dispersing, they sat down in the street. Restrictions on the media prevent us from showing what happened next. But after the spraying of purple dye and tear gas canisters, the demonstrators did disperse. Hundreds, though, were arrested. Those who were not took refuge in the cathedral, where Archbishop Tutu rallied their morale.
My freedom is inalienable. My freedom is God-given. My freedom is God-given. I don't go around saying, boss, please make me free. Now straighten up your shoulders. Come on, straighten up your shoulders. Huh? Straighten up your shoulders like people who are born for freedom.
And he said the struggle will continue until that freedom is won. Kevin Dunn, ITN, in South Africa.
British Army Gurkhas in Hong Kong have been searching for weapons in a Vietnamese refugee camp where one man was killed in renewed rioting. Both people fought each other with homemade knives and clubs following a row over gambling debts.
Police tactical units raced in to quell another riot. The third day running, violence has broken out amongst the Vietnamese. The latest trouble was at Sek Kong, a vast tented camp on a military airfield housing over 7,000 boat people. During a vicious gang fight over a gambling dispute, one Vietnamese man was hacked to death. The first recorded murder at a boat people camp in Hong Kong. Police searches uncovered hundreds of improvised weapons, sharpened tent poles, sticks, knives, even a sword. With violence and unrest now reaching alarming proportions amongst the 55,000 Vietnamese now crammed into Hong Kong camps, the police are struggling to maintain control. Police launches keep unwanted visitors away from another trouble spot, the island camp of Dia Jiao, which has been declared a quarantine zone following an outbreak of cholera. Today, the Hong Kong authorities were preparing to evacuate 4,500 Vietnamese to try to prevent an epidemic. 16 cases of cholera have been confirmed. Another 18 boat people were ferried ashore to hospital today with cholera symptoms. Earlier pictures on the island show the Vietnamese living in primitive and insanitary conditions. So that Dia Jiao can be disinfected, let it be moved to a former leper colony.
Members of the royal family have made their first public appearance since the announcement of the Princess Royal separation. They attended the Highland Games at Braemar. A full account of events leading to the marriage breakup has been published by the author Brian Hoey. He's known the princess for 20 years and with her cooperation has spent the past 2 working on a biography.
The Queen enjoyed the Highland sunshine at the Braemar Games today, part of her annual holiday which, according to Brian Hoey, was picked out as the ideal time to announce the royal split. Members of the royal family could be more easily shielded from the publicity there than in London. In tomorrow's Sunday Times, Hoey confirms that the princess's growing commitment to international charity work left Captain Phillips behind. But he describes how she took time out from her overseas travel last December to organise a surprise party for her husband's birthday, which delighted them both. Hardly the action, he says, of a woman ready to give up on her marriage. The princess didn't tell the Queen